Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I'm going to be sharing or doing the Christian Girl tag. I have watched loads of other Christian YouTubers do this tag, and I thought it would be a fun way to get to know a bit more about me, and also just share, just a little bit about myself and my journey. And hopefully by doing this tag it will encourage you guys as well. So there are a couple of questions which I have pulled from different videos that I've seen, and I will just be answering these questions now so that I can go ahead with the tag. So the first question is, when did you give your life to Christ? So this is a bit of a complicated, the answer is going to be a bit complicated because I've grown up in a Christian home. I was brought up in a Christian home. Both my parents are Christians. So God and, going to church and, praying and all of these things have not been strange to me. I've always been exposed to this right from when I was a child. But obviously, like they say, salvation is personal. So it's not the fact that my parents or that my siblings are Christian doesn't make me Christian. I guess I'd always walked in that path because that's how I was brought up. But then when I got to boarding school, I guess I went to a Christian boarding school, and it was even uh, in a more strict environment where we had on Sundays we had services in the morning and in the evening. On Saturdays we had church group meetings, and Sunday afternoons we had prayer group meetings, and we had devotions twice a day, like in the morning before we started our lessons and in the evening after our study period. So I was really exposed to it throughout my 5 years of boarding school. And my friends that I had, the bonds that I made while I was there, kind of like pushed me towards actually seeking God and wanting to know God for myself. I met a lot of really, really good friends while I was at boarding school who they feared the Lord, and their relationship with Christ was very admirable. And me, coming from a Christian home, I knew that God was, the way to eternal life, and I wanted to seek Him. I wanted to grow my relationship with Him. So I just kind of made a conscious decision to, read my Bible, study my Bible, and, get to know about this God. Now, when I moved to the UK in 2011, it was the same thing as well. I just tried to get closer to God. When I got to university, I feel like my faith journey has grown so much while I've been here at university, mainly because of the people that God has put in my life, and also God just revealing like loads of things to me, and through the challenges and afflictions that I've faced, and rejections and disappointments, has kind of strengthened my faith and brought me to where I am today. So it's a mixture of different things, really. I don't really remember saying the salvation prayer or whatever. I just remember being encouraged to get to work on my relationship with God and get closer to Him. But yeah, that's kind of like my story. The next question is, what is the first thing you had to let go of once you were saved? Okay, so once when I made that decision to work on my relationship with God, to get to know more about Him, I think one of the things that I sort of had to let go of was I think one of the things would be my time, not in terms of just like not using my time. I meant like using my time wisely, as in using my time using my time productively, as in using my time to get to know God more. So I had to allocate time for my Bible study, and there's other things that I would normally do in that time. I had to let go of those things in order to dedicate my time to God. I don't know if that makes sense. But yeah, there's loads of other things that I used to like, that I used to enjoy. before that don't really interest me right now. And it's just the way, like, as my mind became renewed and my heart became renewed, there's certain things that I don't really enjoy as much anymore, because I feel like they don't grow me spiritually, that I've had to let go of. I'm a bit more mindful about the things that I read, the things that I watch, and the kind of music that I listen to. And it's just those little things like that that I've let go of, in order to make sure that my relationship with God is not tampered with. Um, yeah, so the next question is, do you have any advice for someone who wants to give his or her life to Christ? I would say the very one thing that is very important to understand is this word surrender. Now, my very biggest advice would be to surrender your all to Him, which is, the very first thing that you should do when you come to Christ, is to know that Christ is enough. He is enough. And I know that as human beings, we tend to seek for loads of things. We tend to seek peace, love, comfort, and we seek for all of these things in different people, and in our loved ones, in things, in our careers, our jobs, but Jesus is enough. He's so much more. He's our peace, He's our comfort, He's our joy, He's our source of everything that we can possibly ask for. So my one piece of advice would be to surrender everything that you feel gave you your life, because Jesus is your life. Abandon this life that you have on earth and take this eternal life, this abundant life that Jesus is offering you. It's all about surrendering, and surrendering is like an exchange. You're abandoning your life, your transient existence, and you're taking eternal life, which Jesus is offering you. So it's just knowing that Christ is more valuable. He's a treasure that no one else can give us, and that's my one advice I could say. So one lesson that God has taught you so far on your journey, the one lesson that God has taught me so far is that He has the power to use me for His glory. And that even though I feel like I might be weak sometimes, I feel like I may not have strength, I need to remember that God is the one working in me and through me to reach out to others. That He has the power to work through me so that His glory will be seen. It is not by my own strength, but it's by His strength. That's the one thing that God has been teaching me, or reminding me recently. The next question is, how do you openly share your faith? Now, I share my faith here on YouTube, while I tell you guys all about what God has been teaching me and all the lessons I've been learning. I also share my faith apart from YouTube. There's on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, like all my social media, where I just share the things that I've learned, again, the things that move me, the things that bless my heart, the things that God uses to encourage me. I know that there are people out there who could be going through similar struggles, and so I share them so that these people will be encouraged as well. And it's always good to share maybe a Bible verse or something, and then you see someone who responds and said, "Oh, thank you for sharing. That really encouraged me." That's the reason why I keep sharing. That's the reason why I keep telling others about Jesus, because I know that we need to hear this message, and we need to hear the gospel of Christ, because it changes lives. It really does change lives. So yeah, and I talk to my friends about Jesus, about the people I know, and the people I speak to through events at university, and I tell them about my faith and about the confidence I have for believing in God. So that's how I share my faith. Next one is, what's your favorite book in the Bible and your favorite verse in that book? So this is a hard question, because I love so many books in the Bible, but I will tell you the book that I have been reading currently. So I've been learning a lot about joy in Christ and being satisfied in Him. So joy and suffering and all of that. And I've been looking at the book of Philippians. Philippians is a really, really good book, and I would encourage you guys to read it if you want to. This is the book the Apostle Paul wrote to the church in Philippi, and one of my favorite verses from this book is from chapter 4. So this is Philippians chapter 4 from verse 11 to 13. It says that, not that I was ever in need, for I have learned how to get along happily whether I have much or little. I know how to live on almost anything or with everything. I have learned the secret of living in every situation, whether it is with a full stomach or empty, with plenty or little. For I can do everything with the help of Christ who gives me the strength I need. I just love these verses because it talks about the secret of having joy, whether you're suffering or you are not suffering. So the secret of always having joy is believing that God is in control and believing in the supremacy of God's love and in the supremacy of Christ. And I feel like that is so amazing. The next question is, what is a Bible verse that gives you hope? The one Bible verse that gives me hope, I have so many favorite Bible verses. There's loads, like I can't really pick one, but if I had to pick one for the purpose of this video, my favorite Bible verse is from Job chapter 23 verse 10. It says that, for He knows the way that I take, and when He has tested me, I will come out as pure gold. I just love that verse because this is from Job, and we know how this was a man who suffered greatly in the Bible, and we see how he is famous. His story is so touching, and I can relate a lot to it. Not in the same way exactly, but in the same I can relate a lot to it because of the things that I've gone through so far in life and all the afflictions and everything. And the verse gives me hope because it reminds me that God is in control and that He is sovereign. It says that He knows the way that I take. So when I come to points where I'm confused, I don't know where to go, I don't know which way to take, I know that I can turn to Him because He's sovereign, He's everywhere, He's present, He's all-knowing, omniscient, omnipotent, and He's everywhere, and He knows where I'm going, even though I do not know where I'm going. And it says, when He has tested me, and I know that this testing comes, through trials, through afflictions, through suffering, through all of these things that we may go through. I know that He is testing me not to hurt me, but to make me stronger and to build my faith, to help me grow closer to Him. And the last part of the verse says that I will come out as pure gold. It gives me hope because it reminds me that weeping may endure for a night, but joy comes in the morning, and that I should fix my eyes on Jesus, fix my eyes on eternity, fix my eyes on the one who has the power to deliver us out of all our afflictions. I really love that verse, Job 23 verse 10. It's a really, really cool verse, I think. And the final question is, have you seen any changes in your life or yourself since giving your life to Christ? Since the day I made that conscious decision to follow Christ and to, get closer to Him and work in my relationship with Him, I would say that I have been massively changed. My mind, my heart, my life has been changed. I have learned so many things about myself, about my identity, about my self-worth, and I've learned so many things about life itself, and affliction, suffering. And this is this is kind of wisdom that the world cannot give me, and it's only from God. And I have changed a lot. The way I treat other people, the way I see other people, the way I view them has changed a lot. And myself as well, just relating to myself and my strengths, my weaknesses. I have learned a lot about myself and how God works and how He works through me, and it's been just an amazing experience. But yeah, that's the tag, guys. I hope you have enjoyed learning a bit about me. If you are a Christian and you're a YouTuber as well, I tag you to do this tag, because it gets you to think a little bit and just reflect, and you answer these questions, and you get to know a bit more about people. I love watching these tags because I get to know a bit more about these YouTubers. So I thought I would share this, and I hope that you've learned a little bit more about me. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. I'm really loving this bow, and it matches my top. Yeah, I'm gonna wear my hair out for a little bit, even though the weather is threatening to be really bad, but hopefully I can wear my hair out for a few weeks before I put it back in a protective style. But anyway, thank you so much for watching, guys. Have a lovely day, and God bless. Bye.